I just wanted to document me going through the process of learning to hold my trades longer. I have this one contract. We're up around 40 handles right now. The charts look good for it to go lower, but I just went through my first real retracement and you can see it expanding lower right now. That's great. That's wonderful. But this was tough to hold through. I literally had to get up and I had to put my mind into something else. And holy cow, look at this drop right now. This is exactly where I wanted it to go. If you look at this chart right here. Oh my gosh. You're getting this live. Oh man, that is hilarious. That is where I wanted it to go. We went through if we close through this first fair value gap of the day, we have this range right here, the opening range gap, and the low is going to be just under 19,400. So I think I'm going to shoot for I think I'm going to go for a quarter, the lower quarter of that, which would be roughly right about there. So 19,425, I think that's might be what I target, because we're about to close below the opening price of the day, which you can see right here. We're holding that last contract. Now, it's probably going to be even tougher now that I'm up even higher, just to handle this and hold through this seems immensely difficult, because I'm up a nice chunk even just with one micro contract. And this was tough. This is even tougher right now, because not knowing how much it's going to retrace. I mean, this makes me feel good, and an expansion lower would make me feel really good right now, but I know that there's probably going to be another retracement that I'm going to have to hold through. The number is 425. So roughly about here. I'm just going to put that on here just so I can see it there. But that's the lower quarter, the lower third, or the lower quarter of that opening range. And I have it there to target. I do know that when we enter in the opening range gap for the second time, there's a good chance we're going to fill a majority of it, or at least hit halfway. So I could take profit at this halfway point, which is at 444. You can see that right here on this chart. 444 is the halfway point. So I'm just deciding where I want to take that profit, but I held through that first retracement, held through this second retracement, and I just want to document this because I've been talking quite a bit on learning to hold longer, and right now I am up from, my entry was 19,589, and we're down to 554, 558. So I'm about 100 handles right now in the green, and really the feelings that I'm dealing with right now are a lot of anxiousness of just wanting to get out of the trade. Not just like I want to close it and be happy that I secured it. And it's very, very difficult right now, especially even after we got this large move. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for the faint of heart for anybody that wants to learn to hold their trades longer. Your goal cannot be for profit. It cannot be for this number right there. It has to be to actually hold the trade longer. I don't know where I want to place my stop. I think what I'm going to do is, if we close above this fair value gap from earlier in the day, I think that's going to be my stop. So this fair value gap right here, if we close above this line, I think if we close above that, that is the high of the first fair value gap of the day. I think we will use that as my stop. I will put that, if we go above that, I'm going to close it at that point. Especially during these times when it's just, consolidating. These are the hard moments where you I'm literally struggling with, do I just want to close the trade, or do I want it to have it retrace? At this point, it'd be a 40 handle retracement. A 40 handle retracement. Holy cow. Now, earlier I was looking for a short, as you can tell by all of these executions, where I was stopped at break even for the most part, because we had this big draw liquidity from the opening range gap and the new day opening gap that's sitting even further. It's at 19,310. 19,310 is the high of the new day opening gap right here. So there is a lot of room for this to drop, and I am determined to become better at taking these bigger trades. We just tapped the midpoint of the opening range gap, which is this highlighted gap right here in price. So I want to see this push through it right now. If we get a major retracement from this, which is possible, I might look at securing that, because that's a very key level. So here's a fair value gap that's sitting at this high right here. I think I'm gonna move my stop loss to just above this fair value gap, which is 88.44 or 488.50. Okay, so there's 488.50. There's my stop just to secure profit. If we violate this fair value gap, I wouldn't want to be in that anyway, because we could get a bigger retracement. We still have about an hour and a half in the trading day, and I'm just wanting to make sure I manage this appropriately. There's a good chance I'll get stopped out here, but I'm going to take it like a man and let it run to that stop loss. You know, the other thing, I can't imagine if I had 10 minis on this. Oh my gosh. There's a reason why I'm starting with a single micro contract in this. I'm having 10 minis, even 10 mini contracts, even 10 micro contracts. I know I'm determined to learn to hold. Probably gonna tap me. Come on. All right, look at that. Alrighty. 592 was my original sell, and I sold my last contract at 424. We're looking at 168 handles that I held for this trade. Definitely a learning experience for me in holding through this, seeing the profit and having to deal with those feelings of just wanting to close the trade. But hopefully you learned something from this. If you like videos like this, raw and sharing all the emotions involved, hit that like button, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.